What it do? What it do? Welcome to another Entrepreneur Insights. This your boy, Coach P.
Hey,
What we talking about today, man?
we're gonna go on a ramble.
Okay.
So I learned something today. I'm gonna tell you what I learned, man.
What you learned?
So private label, right? So one of the after the Great Depression, private labels started popping up in the American economy. So basically, what it did in the efforts of for America was it gave you a cheaper option of essentially buying the same thing. So most people that aren't in the entrepreneur world, they know it as buying generic medicine, private label.
All right, all right.
So like
So
buying,
like ibuprofen.
yeah, like Equate, or yeah, like ibuprofen, and then you have a name brand ibuprofen, then you have just the active ingredient ibuprofen.
Got you.
So popped up over the Great Depression, like for canned goods. So like it may just say corn. It ain't gonna be Green Giant. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward to today, where we notice it is so across the street. What's that?
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods, right? Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and Aldi's. One of the things about them is they
These are all grocery stores, right?
yeah, grocery store chains, and they're all supplied by private labels. So you're not typically going to find Kraft. It'll be a small business backed private label version of whatever it is, ranch. You know, I don't know, man. You know, like what's the stuff that you be eating? Them chips, them sweet, them one like sweet potato. I don't know. Anyway, just stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's generic version like that.
You won't find Orville
Yeah,
popcorn.
I like that the apple juice that you drink.
Okay.
So basically, that's what private label do. Is it the idea is to give you a better option at a cheaper price because there's no grand marketing budget going behind this pushing the overall brand. So private label now is like Kirkland's for Costco's Kirkland's Signature, Walmart, Sam's Choice, Great Value, Equate. Now funnel all that into Amazon. Amazon has over 100 private labels, one company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the issue with them is Amazon also owns and operates their own marketplace. So
I.e. Whole Foods.
yeah, Whole Foods and all that. So now think about Amazon.com. You're a small business on Amazon.com, right? You put up, which is a case that actually happened, camera bag. Put your camera bag on there and it's selling. Amazon can turn around and if you don't put a design patent on the camera bag, meaning patent the way it looks, certain aspects about it, they'll knock you off and sell that same bag at a cheaper price or same looking bag at a cheaper price, maybe cheaper materials. But now in the consumer mind, why would I spend $90 when I could spend 30?
That sounds like kind of like what Adidas did to Kanye in a sense with the Yeezys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but now but what makes it almost, and it's not criminal, but what makes it seem so bad is they own their own marketplace. So they're doing it in their backyard where they invited you to come to be successful just to knock you off so they can still make money.
That's what their true intentions were, or you think that's just a natural progression within a big corporate entity like such as Amazon that at the end of the day it's all about vertical integration and creating more efficient operations or getting things for a cheaper price and direct to consumer type ordeal.
It's hard because all those could be a good answer, right? But one thing about companies, once you make it past a certain um level, notoriety, and also dollar amount, you become all about the money and you see where you can monopolize on it. So Facebook is trying to monopolize the tech media space as far as products that they're pushing out. Amazon is doing the same thing. I didn't realize Amazon just bought MGM for $8 billion.
MGM,
The whole
movie.
movies plus the casino, all anything from MGM, they bought them, right?
That sounds like kind of like with Facebook buying up Instagram, and because at the end of the day, these big corporations, let's kind of stick to the big corporations. They have all this floating cash sitting around.
Yeah.
So you got to find out who are our biggest threats or our biggest competitors. Can we buy them? That's how they bought Instagram.
Yeah.
Because if Facebook didn't buy Instagram would have
knocked them out.
There with the potential to be there.
Yeah, I mean, but I think they're I don't think they're Amazon is intentionally trying to find other ways to make money and to beat down the smaller man.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did, but
so they say it's only between 1% to 3% maybe of their overall revenue of the company. Well, when you just revenued 400 something billion dollars, 1%, you know what I'm saying? So it is a big, it does make money, but I think when Amazon's focus is to monopolize as many markets as they can. And one of the ways that they can do that is by owning their own marketplace, but
and have their own private label.
Yeah, if I can. I mean, they got like, I think out of the 100 private labels they have, only 20 of them carry an Amazon name attached, like Audible and then by Amazon type deal, right? And the other ones you just never would know that it's owned by Amazon.
But since they have that direct manufacturer to consumer type relationship, is that a bad thing? If you can get it cheaper on Amazon than you can get it at Joe Schmo, is that a bad thing? Should we let Amazon just control the consumer goods market and let these big monopolies control the consumer goods market, and us quote unquote peasants focus on other avenues of getting money? Like, how does that work in the grand scheme of things? I know we have antitrust laws where these corporations can't quote unquote get too big and form a monopoly over certain, like, so where do you see the buck stopping, or do you think it's gonna stop?
To be honest with you, I think the buck is not going to stop, but also at the same time, I think the goalpost is going to get pushed back further and further, right? So
What do you mean by that?
Look at it like this, right? So at one point, making $1 million was a feat. And if you had a net worth of just 1 million, you were seen as the top echelon of all the money in the world. Well, that goalpost has been pushed back now because we've exceeded that opportunity. And not to say that making $1 million is still not a feat, but
it's a lot more easy to make $1 million this year,
right,
in 2022 than it was probably back in 2010, and even further back in 2000.
I mean, so think about this, right? If somebody was to do the research, I could guarantee that you probably would never find. And I'm saying when I say self-made, what I'm saying is not that they did it technically by themselves, but they didn't have the wealth to be passed down to them to give them that status. You wouldn't find a 13-year-old millionaire in 2010. I would sign a contract for $1 million on that one. But now, you have 10-year-olds.
Yeah. I guess we can
sneakers.
We can attribute that to just the power of the internet at the end of the day. The progression of the internet, i.e. Instagram, Facebook, all that, I consider the internet at the end of the day.
Pretty much.
And being able to instantly connect people, form marketplaces on the internet, direct to consumer. The dynamics of direct to consumer and the relationship between consumer and supplier is I don't want to use the term consolidated, but it's become so broad now. Like you can just sell anybody anything, and you can reach anybody at any time at now, where that opportunity wasn't available the way it is now 10 years ago. Shit, I remember graduating high school in 2009, and we just learning about the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 2008, and then our I
remember BlackBerry Messenger guy.
Yeah, but I remember my architect teacher just being so fascinated about the first version of the iPhone in 2008. We are in 2022 now. Like shit, we conduct whole bit like operate full on multi-million-dollar businesses just on this machine, bro. So like the way that iPhone has just revolutionized like the relationship in business and the relationship between consumer and supplier, times has definitely changed.
Check this out though, right? So let's say, all right, so being a contractor. So you've held a roofing contractor's license for some time, right? Now think about 2005. How many contractors do you think the state of Florida seen on a weekly basis? New contractors passing the test and getting that license. If you just had to throw a number out there,
not as many.
Now, 2022 in 1 week, how many people you think obtained a roofing contractor's license in Florida?
It's the opportunity there, but what's also there is just, I would say, when it comes to like social media and people getting inspired, it's easy to get inspired off the internet now because the visual. So more access to information just opens up just that more. I don't want to even say more opportunities because the opportunity's always been there, but just people are more exposed now.
Yeah, I mean, so starting a business when we were growing up in the 90s and early 2000s. If you knew somebody who had a business, regardless of the revenue, that was a feat because it wasn't as known. Like the process, wasn't nobody telling you the process. Like it just was like, you could find it in a book, or if you knew somebody who was willing to share the information, they would share it to you. But it wasn't like I could just go and ask somebody. You know what I'm saying? And now the what do you call it? What do you call? It's not the threshold. What's the phrase? Anyway, the threshold of crossing over from being a peon or a regular person to a business owner is so easy now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like go back to the contractor example, like part of your contractor license like is somewhat sequential. So that if you see somebody else's license and they say, "Oh, I got license in 2000, 18, and their number is a whole 1,000 digits off from yours." That's how many people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Coming through.
This has come through the pipeline.
You mentioned that because I guess we segueing into. I know we were talking about private labels, but I guess that segues into like, okay, it's easy to become a business owner at the end of the day. You can form an LLC, go on your state secretary.
I'm not gonna say what I want to say.
And form an LLC, so it's easy to do that. But is it easy? It's not easy to be a successful business owner, and moreover, it's not easy sustaining a business for 5 to 10 years, a successful business for 5 to 10 years, because you go through certain phases and people tap out due to frustrations, due to just attrition in relationships, things of that nature. And it's those people who have the ability to overcome all of the hurdles and the obstacles of sustaining a successful business that, definitely come out on top. So it's easy to become a business owner at the end of the day, but is it easy to become a successful business owner? And I guess you got to define what a successful business owner is at the end of the day.
Because the goalposts been moved.
Mm-hmm. So
you know what I'm saying?
We got access. So I would say we have access now. At the end of the day, we got access to unlimited amounts of education. Mm-hmm. We got access to a limited amount of resources. unlimited in
The
the
inspiration.
unlimited in the sense of like if you spend enough time just focus on what you need to be focused on, you're gonna have all the information you need to move forward, and you have access to it from like right here, outside of the relationships that you need to build, because that's another aspect of it. But you can learn how to build relationships through here. You can learn that relationships is a true relationship building is a true aspect of business. But not to go down that rabbit hole, we have access to become successful at the end of the day. But do we know how to organize that information to benefit us? And do we have the wherewithal or the staying power to power through the obstacles and the hurdles and just the setbacks that present itself in different forms?
All right, so this is the last ramble. Now I'm gonna stay. Here we go. So you said something, and I was just trying to explain to somebody something the other day, right? So used to part of owning a business was you would empower to a degree, but you would also put a positive into the community around you by having that business, especially when it comes time to hiring employees, and then you're feeding families. Even because even if you have let's say 15 employees, you still could be sustaining the livelihoods of 100 people collectively, beyond those people connected to the 15 people that you employ, right? And saying that, and it's so easy to become a business owner now. I thought about it the other day, and I was like, do you know like how we've come to a society now, and it's so like it's so common in that people blatantly call themselves influencers, right? Not knowing, and I don't know if they know the true power of an influencer, but to be an influencer, you calling the shots for a lot of people. The words that come from your mouth are deciding the minds of whoever follow you, right? And we have sometimes it seems like airheaded people calling themselves influencers because you make money from it, so it's so easy to make money, but you're not necessarily putting a benefit out you could potentially be harming the lives of people around you.
I feel like you can influence either people to do good or bad, or you can influence people to be destructive or constructive at the end of the day. So that term influencer, as it relates to, I feel like that term influencer has a concrete definition as it pertains to social media, outside of like what you and I may perceive as a true influencer, like in the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective.
Yeah, it's true.
We're talking about influencing. So, shit. Just going back to purple. I was gonna say going back to purple labels, but going back to private labels, because at the end of the day, you brought up a very important observation where you see like a transformation in the way products are being presented to us depending on the marketplace you're in.
Yeah. I mean that's just how it works. I mean, and you won't see many private labels. Like, so even with Walmart, right? You'll have private labels to a degree, and private labels, it's just also to kind of simplify what it means. You may use the same manufacturer. So Ragu may use the same manufacturer I have. Ragu got Ragu, and I got Mary's sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Sugu. Ragu. You were like Ragu. This is Sugu. Coming to America.
This man here,
Coming
man.
to America.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
But check this out though.
What?
That damn McDowell's, boy. What is that? They got the golden arches. I got the golden what he said? I ain't mess with you, man.
Ah, shit.
But like with Walmart, right? So the one way that Walmart kind of maintains their high level brand partners is when you try to go into Walmart, you'll be taken on locally. And what they do is they won't buy any of your product. They will allow you to put it on their shelves, and depending on how quick it sells in the manner they deem necessary, they either pay you or they'll turn around and charge you for wasting their time in the grand scheme of things, and then keep your product that didn't sell.
Damn. That's so. Are you saying that's how like let's use Target for example. So say for instance, I make some beard oil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's
Beard oil's popping right now.
Even more like I like to keep my beard, hydrated. So I come up with a concoction with some beard oil. I form a relationship. I don't know who I need to form a relationship with, but at the end of the day, I form a relationship with someone at my local Target to like put my beard oil on the shelf. Mm-hmm. Are you saying they're gonna charge me for that or?
No. So typically, how the relationship works, right, is because at this point you're wholesaling product. You're not selling it direct to consumer. So that means you got to wholesale it to them. So where you would have like let's say a 30% markup, you now cutting your markup down to like let's say 10% or 15% based on volume that they order, right? And you're willing to take the less money because your brand actually grows. You still can get people to your website and all that. So you sell it to them at a cheaper price, and then they turn around and mark it up to whatever you typically sell it at, just retail price, all that. And then that's how it goes, right? Well, it's so many people trying to get in this space, and Frito-Lay is willing to pay $1 million for this particular shelf on this end of the aisle to be next to this person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To where it's a bidding war just to be seen. So what they'll do is they'll say, okay, well, we'll, if they want to take you on, I'm not buying none of your product. Whatever sells, I'll pay for it. But let's say it doesn't sell in the time that they need it to sell for, you ass out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But then that's where you have the Whole Foods and all them. They come in. It's a little bit easier to get into them. You can probably make a higher margin, but that's still kind of new technology, if you will, compared to the Walmarts and the Targets and
I feel like that conversation definitely will segue into entrepreneurs who come up with an ideal and they actually have the product set up. I know quite a few entrepreneurs locally who they're selling online right now just through natural Instagram and putting their products online, but they're taking the necessary steps to progress to where their products are selling in Target or Walmart. So that's definitely something that we definitely need to dive in more in another episode.
Yeah, most definitely, because the net is branding.
The branding guy here.
It's all about branding.
But yeah, so we're gonna wrap this show up. It's been another episode of Entrepreneurs. Damn, I'm about to butcher that. But it's been another episode of Entrepreneur Insights. It's your boy Coach P.
Hey.